525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
In truths that she learned, or in times that he cried, in bridges he burned, or the way that she died.
It's time now to sing out, though the story never ends. Let's
Celebrate, remember a year in the life of friends. Remember love, love.
You got to remember the love. You know that love is a gift from up above. Share love, give love, spread love. Measure your life in love.
Seasons of love. Seasons of
Measure your life in love.
Elphaba, why couldn't you have stayed calm for once, instead of flying off the handle? I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now. I hope you're happy how you hurt your cause forever. I hope you think you're clever. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy too. I hope you're proud how you would grovel in submission to feed your own ambition. So though I can't imagine how, I hope you're happy right now. Elfie, listen to me. Just say you're sorry. You can still be with the wizard. What you've worked and waited for. You can have all you ever wanted. I know, but I don't want it. No, I can't want it anymore. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts, close my eyes, and leap. It's time to try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. Can't I make you understand? You're having delusions of grandeur. I'm through accepting limits, 'cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I'd sooner fight defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. Glinda, come with me. Think of what we could do together. Unlimited. Together we're unlimited. Together we'll be the greatest team there's ever been. Glinda, dreams the way we planned them. If we work in tandem, there's no fight we cannot win. Just you and I defying gravity. With you and I us down. Well, are you coming? I hope you're happy now that you're choosing this. You too. I hope it brings you bliss. I really hope you get it and you don't live to regret it. I hope you're happy in the end. I hope you're happy, my friend. So if you care to find me, look to the western sky. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves a chance to fly. And if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free. To those who ground me, take a message back from me. Tell them how I am defying gravity. I'm flying high, defying gravity, and soon I'll match them in renown. And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down. I hope you're
There's the camera.
Behind you. Right up there shooting down it.
All they can see is the back of my head, but
No, smoke.
I should have cut my hair the way I wanted. Yeah. It's gonna make a mohawk in the back.
Draw a face on the wall,
That's a good idea.
smiley face.
Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are here and those of you who are online, we welcome you to the funeral service of Mrs. Harriet Diane Lazar. By way of introduction, my name is David. I am not clergy. I'm just a longtime friend of the family who will be helping this afternoon. We begin the funeral ceremony with an ancient tradition of tearing of the cloth or tearing of the ribbon. We're a Semitic people, and in the desert, when someone died, we tore our clothes. In the Bible, there's a story that when Jacob heard that Joseph died, he tore his clothes. When we received the Torah, we were given 613 commandments, but most people associate with the Big Ten. The first 5 relate to the relationship of man and God, and the second 5 is man to man. Number 5 says, Kibud Av V'Em, honor your mother and father. So for Bradley, who's here, and Daniel, who's in Germany, you wear it over the heart. The heart represents life. Your mother gave and nourished your life. And to her husband, Alan, and her sister, Sheryl, you wear it on the right side. And we're going to say a blessing, repeat after me, and it just says, God is the true judge. And the last word is emet, which means truth. What's fascinating about the Hebrew language, always a lot of there's more involved in it than just the word. And the word emet is spelled Aleph, Mem, Taf. Aleph is the first, Mem is the middle, Taf is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And what that teaches us is that we all have our own truth, from the beginning to the middle to the end, your own relationship. So I ask you to rise if you're able and repeat these words after me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Dayan ha'emet. Let's praise our you, Lord our God, King of the universe, the righteous judge. At this time, I'll come forward and tear the ribbon with you. Please be seated. We begin the service with the 23rd Psalm. We can read together. It's in your service folder. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We read from the High Holiday Liturgy, birth is a beginning and death a destination. Life is a journey, a going, a growing from stage to stage, from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith. From defeat to defeat to defeat until looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage made stage by stage, from birth to death to life everlasting. A woman of valor. Eshet chaya mi'imtza rachok mivnim mechara. A woman of valor who can find she is more precious than fine pearls. Her husband trusts in her, and so he lacks nothing. She does him good, never harm all the days of her life. She perceives that her labor is rewarding. Her candle burns on into the night. She reaches out to those in need and extends her hands to the poor. She is clothed in strength and dignity, and she faces the future cheerfully. She speaks with wisdom. The law of kindness is on her lips. Her children rise up and bless her. Her husband sings her praises. Many daughters have done valiantly, but you excel them all. We read from Ecclesiastes, for everything there is a season, a time for every experience under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. And it's at this time I invite Harriet's sister, Sheryl, to come forward and speak, and followed by her son, Bradley.
I would have lovingly preferred to have this day eulogized for my sister maybe 3 years ago, before the severe deterioration of her life stricken with Alzheimer's, the same disease our mom had also for about 10 years. Harriet was an active, loving, devoted woman, full of pride of Brad and Dan. Life cut too short to enjoy and hug, well, not in today's world, Lucas, Makenzie, and Madeline. Harriet and I often reflected on our childhood, both 12 years in south side of Chicago, then our teen years in Wilmette. We know how fortunate we were to also have a warm, loving home. Well, except for the time we had a rubber flip-flop war. Harriet called our parents at their friend's house, no cell phones, crying, begging them to get rid of me. Obviously, perhaps after much discussion, I'm still here today. We reflected on, in our discussions, we reflected on our shared 10 by 10 bedroom, our 35-cent allowance, a bedroom with no air conditioning, 35 cents allowance spent at the 10 cents at the penny candy store, then cartoons and movies at the local theater. Again, no Netflix. We spoke and planned together and worked together at our wedding days, 3 months apart in 1970, or second planning for me. Thank you, Aunt, my sister. Our joy in each having 2 healthy children. I got the girl. Our 5 long-distance road trips, Route 66, no planes, watching our crayons melting, breathing in cigarette smoke from both parents. Again, no air conditioning. My final visit in February surprised me. I was able to feed her a full solid gourmet meal at the Belmont. We exchanged kisses. Yes, she puckered up to return my cheek kisses. Perhaps she thought I was maybe Johnny Mathis or Barbara Streisand, her idols. Or perhaps kissing a grandchild, as I looked so incredibly young. Other than Stephen, that was the last kiss for months and will cherish till my last days. I share that kiss from her to all of you. She would have liked that. A very special kiss and hug to Diane, Madeline in Germany. I hope our 45-minute conversation on Monday was as comforting for you as it was for me.
The past 4 years of Mom being in memory care, and more so the past couple of months knowing the end was near, have been time of great chatter amongst the remaining Lazar men, my brother, my dad, and myself. After coordinating some thoughts, we wanted to share the following. Mom and Dad's journey to marriage, you might suggest, was slightly out of the ordinary. They originally met November 6, 1963, when they got set up from a mutual friend that was working at the Jewel with my dad. They lasted about 10 months or so when they went their separate ways to different colleges. Mom went to Bradley and Dad to UI Navy Pier, who knew they had a school there. Ironically, death brought them back together, as back in 1968, Mom had called Dad to get some information on a funeral of a mutual friend's father. My Bubby had taken the call as Dad wasn't home. And when Dad returned Mom's call, he took the opportunity not just to share information about the funeral, but to ask her out again. As they went out, they learned of some commonalities. They both had transferred to Roosevelt University, and each had had a marital engagement that they had called off. As it turns out, Dad proposed in the fall of '69. They tied the knot March 29th of '70, and here we are almost 51 years of marriage later. Their time together at Roosevelt presented an interesting scenario. It ends up that they had a course in common, of which apparently Dad shares a story that he liked to pre-party before the class. Back then, they used to take roll call in classes. They call your name and make sure you were in attendance. And apparently the professor demanded that Dad take attendance that day, but he had been at the bar. Despite his efforts to avoid this scenario, he took attendance and what he claims to have inadvertently marked my mother's absent for the day, which he claims resulted in Mom getting a B instead of an A in that class. Needless to say, she hung with him nonetheless. Dad shared the story of how he landed his career at Kellogg's. And that was back in '69 when he was interviewing for the Kellogg job. And back then you could ask somebody if they were married or not in the interview process. And the company preferred hiring guys who were attached, who were married. So throughout the interview, Dad had shared with the interviewer that he was engaged to somebody named Harriet Simon, after which the tone of the interview completely changed to Kellogg's courting my dad. As it turned out, Mom had been tutoring the interviewer's granddaughter and doing so on a volunteer basis because it's somebody who she felt needed help. He had met my mom, the interviewer had met my mom, and absolutely loved her. So one might say Dad's historic 39-and-a-half-year run at Kellogg's was all her fault. In asking Dad to describe Mom, he always said how warm, friendly, caring she was, and how much she loved children. We all know that. But the one thing that I think stuck out to me in our conversation was that he pointed out that she was the only person that he knew who was so accepting of his brother Richard, and she talked to him like a person, not someone with cerebral palsy. Some of Dad's best memories seem to be of their vacations. Given they both worked full-time and were supporting their families and parents, vacations gave them time to be with each other. When asked about his favorite vacations, he stated that the best ones were always to California to visit their friends Harleen and Wayne Anthony, who Mom had attended elementary school with Harleen, which goes to the point of how much Mom valued her friendships. As a kid, I remember she had cooked dinner only for us to finally sit down as a family, and like clockwork, the phone would ring, and one of the neighbors or bridge club folks would inevitably call. Sure enough, I'd stretch the phone cord across the table. She'd sit there for a few minutes and talk until we yelled at her to get off the phone. To Lucas and Kenzie, telephones. They used to be on a wall. There was a cord. We'll go to the Google later. We'll check it out. Not only did she maintain her personal friendships, but having worked in the community at the Park District in various capacities for 20 plus years, she was a well-respected and liked person. I recall working with her at the different concerts in the park that she was in charge of, and every time I'd be looking for her, she'd be talking to somebody else and I could never get her away for what I needed. She may as well have been the mayor of Buffalo Grove. So while today's a celebration of Mom, the reality is she's been gone for a while. That time has allowed us to consider all the sacrifices Dad has made, and we felt it appropriate to, sorry, got to take that off for a second. Don't yell at me. Okay. So we felt it appropriate to recognize Dad's commitment to Mom and to this family. First, Dad declined promotions This is why I don't read it to you ahead of time, just so you know. That's exactly why. So Dad declined promotion opportunities which would have required him moving across the country, but it was important for him to be here for his family, to take care of his brother, and for Mom to be here for the Simon family. Dad took it upon himself to go to Belmont, where Mom spent most of the last 4 years, almost every night, and feed her dinner. In doing so, he declined attending family gatherings and different social interactions, and even avoided taking vacations, as he felt his obligation to ensure that Mom was taken care of was more important. Thirdly, and I may get the fry pan when I get home for saying this, but my wife, Michelle, recently commented how she's really seen another side of Dad, and how much she's come to appreciate and respect not only his financial planning foresight, which allowed Mom to get the best care possible, but how he made it his mission to ensure she was cared for to the best she could be every single day. Lastly, we were here a few days ago and we visited Mom's body, and we were about to leave. Sheryl and Steve were here, and we were about to leave, and Sheryl turned to Dad and said, "Hey, Al, thank you so much for taking good care of my sister." So Dad, we know the last couple of years have been rough. You not only lost mom, but you lost your brother. But I think I speak for all of your family and friends that we sincerely hope you'll see this as an opportunity to put yourself first. To begin taking care of yourself, to further your relationships with your family and your friends, and in doing so, perhaps taking the time to do some of the things you've shared that you and mom would have loved to do together. I was trying to think of a way to close this thing out, and it came to me in email last night. I was trying to think of a final thing, if I can bring it up on my phone here. I had reached out to the folks at Belmont. I sent them an email and just said, hey, I want to let you know mom died. And the memory care coordinator, her name's Christine Blanchard, and I've had the pleasure of interacting with her a bunch over the last 4 years, but wonderful person. But I think what she responded back with, and I'll read it, I think pretty much sums up everything. Brad, your mom was such a strong woman. I'm sorry she had to go through everything she did these past number of years. It's always been one of my favorite things to do here, to sit down with the residents at meals together, whether I'm helping feed them or not, and just spend time, joke around, try to get people to laugh or smile. And I have many very fond memories of sitting with your mom and dad at dinner, some light sarcasm, and of course, some good-natured joking around. Your mom had such a wonderful and bright smile when she chose to share it with us. Please know that I consider myself lucky to have worked with your family. Your dad's one of the most devoted spouses I've seen. And well, I always enjoyed our conversations as well. Please take care of yourself and know how sorry I am for the loss you're all going through.
First and foremost, I say to Sheryl, Bradley, that I know you had working with Daniel and your father, beautiful, beautiful words. You know, Alan, I have to say that you and Harriet did a great job. I mean, just to hear Brad speak, and I know Daniel is part of this from far away. And when we met several days ago, your words, Daniel, were very helpful and heartfelt. And to the grandchildren, I'm so sorry for your loss, and that, as Brad said, we lost her many years ago, or several years ago. And it's just, it's cruel. In last week's Torah portion, and this week, the story of the Exodus is happening, and the plagues upon the Jewish people. Not easy for the Hebrews being slaves, not easy for the Egyptians having all these plagues. And Harriet was definitely, she got her plague. And the only sense of relief that I can think of, if you want to stretch this analogy, is her exodus. Is her exodus from this terrible disease. But you, Alan, gave her the dignity and respect and love that is an example for all to follow. And your family, because it's not just one, but it's a family that has to do this. And Michelle, I mean, it's all of you. And I think that in a strange way, you've made this world a better place, as messed up as it is. Because when someone would ask you, where are you today? I'll be at the Belmont with my wife. I'll be doing this for the family. That's a huge commitment. And in this fast-paced society of, I have to be here, or the fear of missing out, you are there. And in the Bible, there are several times that God calls upon, be it Moses or Abraham, and the only response is, Hineni, I'm present. Not that, what do you want? What do I need to do? It's just straight up, Hineni, I'm here. And Alan, that just seems like your theme. I'm here. If it's for my family, I'm here. I say to you, you should only go with strength, and to all of you. And that I say these words very, very sincerely to you. You are a great example of what dedication and love is. I ask you to rise for the memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim Shochein B'Mromim, Hamtzei Melucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim U'Torim K'Zohar Harakia Mazhirim, Et Nishmat Heli Devora Bat Leib V'Rachel Shalcha Le'olama, Ba'al Harachamim Yastireha B'Seiter Kenafav Le'olamim, V'Yitzur B'Yitzur HaChaim Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalata, V'Tanuach B'Shalom HaMishkava V'Nomar Amen. And we can read together in English. O God, full of compassion, thou who dwellest on high, grant perfect rest beneath the sheltering wings of thy presence among the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament, to the soul of Harriet, Diane, Lazar, who is gone unto eternity. Lord of mercy, bring her under the cover of thy wings, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of eternal life. Be God's possession. May her repose be peace. Amen. In a moment, we're going to say the mourner's Kaddish. And by way of introduction, the word Kaddish or Kodesh just means holy or sanctity. When one goes to a synagogue, you see Aron HaKodesh, the holy container. When someone prays, they say Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Marriage is called Kiddushin, holiness. And when we're together around the table for a holiday or Shabbat, we say Kiddush. Not bracha shal yain, not blessing of the wine. We call it kiddush, which is kodesh, holiness. And it was written in Aramaic, a common language of the Jews. And really, it's just a group of adjectives about God. However, when they added the last line, they added it in Hebrew, the holy language of our people, which is now the common language, and it speaks only of peace. And one could say shalom is hello, goodbye, and peace. But the root word is shalem, completeness. Her life is now complete. We say together the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, v'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimu amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'me'omaya, Yipalach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, v'yiradar v'yidalav v'yidalav shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yama v'yimu amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimu amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimu amen. Please be seated. And we say to the mourners, to all of you, Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch sha'ar v'leitzion v'Yerushalayim. You should be comforted with all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. As we all say, amen. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the services here at the chapel. Memorial contributions to the Alzheimer's Association would be appreciated. For those of you who are here, that information is on the service folder. And for those of you who are online, you can get that information on our website. We do want to thank the many people that are online who joined us today. I know the family appreciates that. And to you, the family, a heartfelt condolence.
All clear?
It was very nice. You guys did a good job.
Please rise as we bring Harriet's casket from the chapel.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we desire.